Kristen.
Hi.
I'm Sydney Foxworthy. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Are you okay with me calling you Kristen?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So before we get started, I just wanted to go over confidentiality. Everything that we talk about is going to be kept in between me and you. I'm not going to tell anyone else, not your parents or friends or anything like that. Unless you're thinking about hurting yourself or hurting someone else, then I have to report that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You understand? Okay. So we have 15 minutes to talk today, and we're just going to explore what brings you in and why you're wanting to meet.
Okay.
So, do you want to start with why you wanted to come in?
Yeah. So, I was in a long-term relationship with this guy. We dated for about 6 years, and it started my freshman year of high school, which was like 2014. So I was probably 15 years old when we started dating. And then everything was really good at first. Like, he was just super easy to talk to and like fun to hang out with, and like I was comfortable around him and everything. And we didn't get to hang out that much because his parents were super strict and really cared about his grades and didn't really believe in having like relationships in high school or anything. So the whole time we were together, like, we started dating freshman year of high school and broke up on my second semester senior year. And then the whole time we were together, I would always have to like sneak into his house if we wanted to hang out, or he would have to sneak out and come over. It was always like a super secretive thing, at least on his side of it, and it was still kind of fun. Like, it was kind of fun being sneaky and having to like be quiet while we were there and just like pretend like that his parents, like, we just had to like, I don't know, it was fun to be sneaky a little bit, but it was also kind of annoying, like, that his family wouldn't accept me and let him hang out with me or anything. But it was still like really good the first, at least like probably 2 years of our relationship, and but then there was this other girl involved, and I didn't really know who she was or anything, but I knew whenever I would ask him to do stuff, sometimes he would be like, oh, I can't because I'm hanging out with this friend, or like going somewhere else with these guys. And then later I would see him like walking with this girl, and I didn't really know who she was, but I knew he was lying about who he was with, so it kind of bothered me because I didn't know why he couldn't just like be honest with me. And so I kind of started hating this girl, even though I didn't know her or anything about her. And so she was kind of always an issue, and I wouldn't really like consider myself a jealous person, but I was always like jealous of her because I knew he was always lying about being with her, and I knew he had a close relationship with her. But other than that, we didn't have many issues. And then, but he was always kind of like manipulative, and I didn't really realize it until after we broke up, but he was a lot of the times like having to talk himself out of situations where he kind of seemed like the bad guy, and I just was always like believing him over his friends or something because I didn't want to, was kind of in denial a lot of the time. And I don't really know, like, it kind of seemed like he was always cheating on me, and I just didn't want to admit it because I was like so in love with him. But we eventually broke up like my senior year of high school because we were at a party, and we were like broken up when we got to the party, but we were still talking and hanging out like a lot, and so I was kind of expecting to like be with him when we were there and like hang out with him there. And we did a little bit, but then I saw him like hanging out with some other girl and kissing some other girl, so I just kind of started ignoring him while we were at the party, and then he saw me later like dancing with some other guy, and so he got really mad at me and like hit me and started yelling at me and pushing me around at this party, which is when I like broke up with him, like ended things for good after that night. And then we didn't talk for like a year probably, and that's like during that year he went to college and stuff, and I dated another guy for like a few months during the time that we weren't talking. But eventually, after the other guy and I broke up, I went right back to Ben, and we dated for a couple more years, and recently like in the last year, we broke up again for good, and I haven't talked to him for a while. So it's just been kind of like hard on me because he's always just like been in the background, and he's always been there like to rely on or lean on for stuff, and he hasn't been. So it's been hard like dealing with that.
Okay. So this other guy that you talked about dating in between, what was different about the relationship that you guys had compared to your and Ben's?
His family was super like welcoming and really nice to me, which was different, and I liked that because that's something I'd never had in a relationship before. But he also like, it seemed like I was kind of just, he was still in high school and I had graduated by that point, and it kind of seemed like I was just like an accessory to him for like his friends. Like he just always wanted me to look good and kind of wanted me to be there just to make him look good.
Okay.
But it was also nice like being kind of part of his family.
Mm-hmm. For a future relationship, what would you like to see from the other person? How would you like to be treated?
I'd like to be able to like trust them and not have to worry about if they're lying to me about hanging out with other girls, or just like both of us be able to have our own lives separate from just our relationship and be able to do things without each other.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you guys broke up, how do you think that affected other areas of your life, such as school or work?
With school, I think it honestly helped because my grades have improved since we broke up, just because I don't have to like be on my phone or worry about texting him back or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been good, but socially it's been hard to like build new relationships and be open with like other people because he's just always been like there with me when I've been meeting other people, and so it makes it like more comfortable for me.
How do you usually meet other people while you're at school during this time?
It's been kind of hard to make new friends because of COVID, so I've mostly been hanging out with my roommates. A lot of them have been there for a couple years, and so I'm like, my main group of friends is just my roommates' friends and people that they knew like in the past years. But most of my classes are online, so I haven't made very many friends in class. And then the two classes I do have in person are just, since I waited a couple years to like go to college, everybody's like 3 years younger than me, and like none of them can do things that I would want to do, like go to bars or anything like that. So it's been hard to meet people, but I like my roommates and like their friends are cool. I just haven't been able to make a lot of my own friends.
So would you say you have a good relationship with your roommates? You feel like you can trust them?
Yeah. I went random with my roommates, so I didn't really know how that was going to go, but I think I got pretty lucky because they're all really nice and we all get along.
That's good. Okay. So how do you think this is affecting your mental health being after the breakup?
I think I've like been really lonely since then, just because he's always been like someone I talk to like at night before I go to bed, or like if I'm drinking, I could always FaceTime him and just like talk to him for a while. And I don't have that person who like I can just always like, if something happens in like my life, just something random, like I would always just text him and tell him, and I don't have that person anymore. So it's been hard and just like been kind of lonely. But other than that, I mean,
have you adopted any new habits since?
I've probably been drinking more and going out with my roommates and people more. And I've also I've been going to a lot more like parties instead of just going out with like a couple people to bars. Or my sister's a bartender, so I used to go out with like a friend and visit her at the bar more often than going to like random people's houses and drinking there. But I've been going to more bigger like parties.
How has that been?
It's been fun, but it's also been probably a bad habit.
Okay. So would you like to see that change in your future?
Yeah, I'd like to like make more new friends that I can kind of like trust and rely on, and we can like hang out without going out and drinking, because I feel like most times if I'm hanging out with someone, we're gonna be drinking. I don't really just hang out with people unless it's a like going out kind of thing.
So have you done anything already to try to make new friends? Is there anything you've already tried?
No, I haven't.
Does your school have clubs that happen or go on that you could join?
Yeah, they have a lot of clubs, but I haven't looked into a lot of them. And I know a lot of them are meeting online only right now because of COVID and everything.
Is that something you could be interested in, do you think?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I also haven't looked that much into it because I spend a lot of time like on schoolwork, and it's kind of most of my time is spent on schoolwork, and I'm either like doing like studying or going out, and I don't really make a lot of free time for myself.
Okay. How does not having a lot of free time affect, again, your mental health? Does that have a negative or positive effect?
Yeah, it's been weird just because like I wasn't in school for a while, so most of my time was free time. Like I was working, but one of my jobs, like I had weekends off, so I had a lot of free time on weekends. The other one, like I was a manager for a while, so I made my own schedule, and it's been hard like not having that free time. But
do you have a job right now?
No.
No, okay. Just school?
Yeah. I need a job, but I don't have time with like how much I study, and I wouldn't have a lot of like time to go out or hang out with friends if I got one.
So would you say that you would like to focus mostly on just creating new relationships?
Yeah, I think it would help if I made new friends, and like especially friends that like are kind of separate from my roommates and their friends, just because that's the only people I know at Purdue right now. But it's just, yeah, it's hard to meet people with not having any in-person classes or anything like that.
Earlier when you mentioned going out more and maybe drinking more, is that an area that you are fine with, or would you like to see change?
I'd like to see it change, but it's easier for me to make friends and like I feel like be myself when I'm drinking, especially since the breakup, just because he was someone like I was always myself around, and I kind of grew up like all of high school with him, and like he was always there, so he like really knew like me and who I was, and it's hard to like show people myself and be comfortable like around people unless I'm drinking.
Yeah. Okay. So we have about 3 minutes left. Next time we can definitely look into different places at your school that could help you find new friends and join clubs and make new relationships. But before we end, in 5 years from now, how would you like to see yourself?
Hopefully graduated by then and kind of knowing what I want to do with my life. The reason I didn't go to school at first was because I just didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to waste money on like just classes, not knowing where it was gonna go. So that's when I like started working at a vet for a while and like realized I love animals and like love taking care of them. Good. So I'm in the vet med program, and I don't really know like exactly what I want to do with it. I just know I want to like probably specialize in one area. I just don't even like know what my options are right now. So hopefully in 5 years I'll kind of have been able to explore the different options. Like I'll have been through clinicals and all that kind of stuff. So I'll know more of my options and hopefully have figured out where I want to be.
Okay, good. All right, well, it was very nice to meet with you, Kristen. Thank you for coming in.
It's nice to meet with you too. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Will that be long enough?